Good morning. I'd like to share some insights with you if you're planning on jumping off into that investment pool. So with investment property, keep in mind the goal is to earn a buck at the end of the day. You're not buying a house to live in yourself over a number of years. So the first thing I do when someone reaches out to me and says, Doug, I'd like to start investing in real estate, is I send them to an attorney. No, that's not because I think we're going to get sued working with me, but I send you over there and the attorney will help you set up an LLC. I have them go over some potential scenarios, some just nightmare or worst case scenarios, if you will, so to let them know why it's important to have that legal protection. And so we spend some time getting that LLC set up and filed and all that good stuff, and determining who you want on the LLC, friends, family, that sort of stuff. And so we let the lawyers take care of all the legal stuff for your protection. Once that's done, we need to decide how you're going to pay for this investment property. Do you have a bank account with ready, willing, and able cash? If so, great, let's go to town. If you need a loan, or if you desire a loan to kind of keep some cash in reserves, I would recommend a trusted local lender. If you dial one of those 1-800 numbers or go online, you're kind of stuck with them with service after and during and after the sale. And so with a trusted local lender, if we run into a little hiccup, and there's always hiccups, you can go sit down over a cup of coffee and work it out. And so I much prefer you working with a local lender than just dialing a 1-800 number somewhere. So do that. And then keep in mind, once we start looking for properties, people will often say, well, Doug, I'd like to find something that's a cosmetic flip. I just want to be able to go put some granite in there and some travertine floors and all this wonderful stuff. And I'm saying, wait a minute, you're looking at $50,000 houses that are going to be $90,000 houses. None of that stuff exists at that price point. So when you start looking at properties, look for dollars or dollar potential, as opposed to this looks like a house I would personally live in. And so keep the dollars in mind, not your personal standards. Another thing to consider in investment properties, always budget a little extra for surprises. Even with home inspections, and if you do an appraisal, there's always a little surprise along the way. So you send a plumber over to check out a leak. The plumber gets in there and they say, oh, well, you got a leak, and while we were fooling around, those wires look kind of bad in the wall too. Well, now you got to call an electrician, okay? Can't just cover it up. So always budget, I say around 10% for just what I call the surprise factor, okay? To make us all sleep a little easier at night. Have a strategy in play from the beginning. Do you want more rental type properties where you'll invest money up front and get a little bit of return each month, okay, and then have to manage those? Or do you want to turn a property? So in other words, buy a house, fix it up, and try to turn it and sell it and make a profit off it right there, and then hopefully within 90 to 120 days. So those are two different type things. So decide what you want to do, or some people will do a mix. Some people will start out with a flip, then use those proceeds to put a large down payment on a rental house. But let's have some sort of strategy, and that's one of the things I do during our buyer consultation, is help you work through that, ask you a bunch of questions, and see what your needs are. Decide who's going to do the work on this project. Quality vendors, they get booked out sometimes weeks, if not months in advance, and so the worst thing to do is close on a property and the contractor's not available for another 90 days, and so it sits there. So we can plan this out quite a bit in advance. Decide if you're going to do some work, decide what you're going to do. Are you going to take off your day job to go over there and do some work during daylight hours, or are you going to do this at night? If you're going to do that, that's going to be exhausting. So that's going to be like you having two full-time jobs for a while. So do you want to do that, or do you want to hire it out? If you want to hire that stuff out, let's get those guys lined up. So if we close on a Tuesday night, they're starting work. Okay, maybe Wednesday morning. We'll see how it goes. If you have any questions or you're ready to make the leap, feel free to give me a call, 318-613-1994, or hop on the website, louisianahousehunter.com. I'm Doug Rogers. Make it a great day.